Hey there, Jen Patero, back again. Today is October the 2nd, Saturday, October the 2nd. Cannot believe it's October already. But today does mark the 6-week countdown towards my competition on November 13th. So halfway mark. I cannot believe I'm halfway through this already. And feeling great, super duper excited still, feeling good. And today, I've got my heels on. I am ready to do a little bit of posing here at the end. But before that, just wanted to chat a little bit about some of the comparisons. So from my first competition to my second competition, I've noticed some differences, right? I started this prep from a very different place than I started my previous prep. And so it's been interesting to me to look back at my first competition prep and where I was at week 12 versus week 6. And then this prep looking at week 12 versus week 6. And so wanted to share a little bit of a visual, I guess. So if we look, oh, you can see my silly light in the background, but if we look at the first competition prep, which was started on March the 12th, and then my 6-week mark was May 8th. So you'll notice just, significant improvements, of course, over the course of that 6 weeks. But then if you look at this prep, I obviously, what date did I start this on? I think it was August 21st. My starting point for this one, very different than my starting point from that one. And then you'll also notice that my 6-week picture, the picture that I just took this morning, I'm looking and feeling a little bit leaner than I was at the 6-week mark for my first competition prep. So yeah, starting from a different place has made a big difference. And it's really interesting to compare and contrast my weight as well as my macros, because the macros are very similar, but my weight is quite different. So if we compare my start weight from my first competition, I started at 131.2. And then at my 6-week mark, I was 123.8. This time, I started 12 weeks out, 127 pounds, which was higher than I really wanted to be. I was hoping that I would only reverse diet out. I think Robert and I talked about reverse dieting out. My weight would probably be 125. So I was a little bit higher because I fell off the rails a couple of times. But my weight this morning and yesterday and the day before was 121 pounds. So I've got almost a 3-pound difference from my first competition prep, right? If we compare 6 weeks first prep to 6 weeks this prep, there is about a 3-pound difference. And I'm telling you, I feel it. I feel so much leaner this time. I am so cold in the evenings and sleeping with warm blankets and I've got this bean bag that I throw in the microwave and warm it up and sleep with that. I'm just feeling so different this time. Sorry, I had to stand up. Realized I was squatting. But if I look at my macros, they're pretty well identical, right? So if I compared the number of calories that I was consuming at my 6-week mark last go around was 1,655. My calories this past week, 1,650. So bang on the exact same, but because I was starting from such a different place, my body composition has just changed a fair bit. And, you know, I'm consuming about the same amount of fat. Last go around, I was consuming 135 grams of fat at this stage of the game. Right now I'm consuming 130. So I'm consuming the same amount of fat, but I'm still able to burn more fat off of my body, which is what keto is all about, right? And it's just really cool to pay attention to some of these trends and watch what happens. Even though I'm consuming the same amount of dietary fat, my body is holding much less. And I know this because, again, when I compare pictures, my coaches and other people who are far more in tune with, you know, how people shred for competitions, they're saying, I can see gains. Like, I can see you have actually built some muscle. So my muscle mass is likely higher, yet my weight is lower, which tells me I'm just that much leaner, which is great. And I guess the telltale sign, like the determining factor here will be when I redo my DEXA scan. That will give me a much more concrete idea of my lean muscle mass. And that's why I'm so excited to do that, to see if I actually have been able to build a little bit of muscle here, even though my reverse diet didn't get out to higher than 2,000 calories, right? Anyways, so very cool to look at the difference between my first prep versus my second prep. And even though I'm consuming the same amount of fat this go around as I was last, I'm far leaner. And I think that that's for two reasons. One, I started from a different place. And two, my efforts in the gym this go around, I feel, have been more intense. And the reason for that is, I feel, because I sort of know what to expect. My first cut into, I was so fearful. I didn't want to overdo it, didn't want to lose muscle mass, didn't really know what was to come. Where this time I've got a bit of that perspective. So I know I can and really should be pushing myself. And through using the Strong app, that has really helped too, to incrementally push myself week over week. And I think it's made a huge difference. Anyways, kind of cool to compare first prep to second prep. And so I thought I would share that with you today. Now, before I get into some posing, I will share with you, I already told you what my weight was today, 121 pounds. Last week on Saturday, well, Saturday and Sunday, I was 122.4. So again, I've lost this week 1.5 pounds, but again, super interesting, my fat stayed the same. I was 130 grams of fat last week. I was 130 grams of fat the week before that. All I did was drop a bit of protein, yet I was able to burn more fat. Very cool. And so my first question to Robert was, am I losing muscle mass? Do you think that I'm losing muscle? But my energy in the gym and what I'm able to achieve in the gym as far as weights is improving. I'm able to do more this week than I was able to do last week, which tells me I'm not losing muscle. I'm actually losing that much fat, even though I'm still consuming so much, like the same amount of fat. Anyways, very cool to me anyways, so thought I would share. But as I move into this week coming, so effective Monday, I am cutting my fat down to 125 grams and I'm cutting my protein to 105. So I'm dropping both fat and protein this week. So my overall caloric intake drops to 1,585 calories per day on average. So that's the game plan from macronutrient perspective. Filled you a little bit in on my fitness too. And so now I'm going to give this posing a go. I have been posing every day for at least half an hour and focusing on my walk, believe it or not, moving my hips, and my quarter turns. So I guess that's what I will do today. I was only gonna do a walk, but I'll maybe throw in the quarter turns too. But just remember, this is only 1 week difference from last week, so bear with me. And I am in my lovely 5-inch heels. Gonna walk to the back of the room. Hope you can still see me well and hear me well. And I'll just start as though I was standing at the back of the stage, and then they call me to the front. And so I'll close off and do my walk, sway my hips, and then do my front pose as I approach the judges. And it's amazing to me. I'm trying to kick my hips out and be very fluid. But even though I feel like I'm sticking my butt out, I don't know that I'm sticking my butt out as much as I need to. So I'll continue to work on that. Back pose. Flick of the hair. Oh, a little wobbly. And trying to be very fluid and back around into my front pose. And then that's it. That's it. That's all she wrote. I don't know. Is it better than last week? I don't know. I hope so. I hope I'm making incremental improvements week over week. And like I say, just really trying to get hips out, back arched. And anyways, I continue to practice. That's it for week 6. Countdown to Worlds, November 13th. Cannot wait. And yeah, hope everybody's having an amazing weekend. Thank you so much for watching, supporting me through this, offering your suggestions as far as my posing and tips and tricks for me to help improve. Thank you, everybody. And have an amazing week. And I will see you again next Saturday. Whew, now I'm hot and sweaty. Yeah, have an amazing week. Take care. Bye for now.